1973. Rock is everywhere. Glam in glitter boots, country rock on the highway, prog counting odd time, and proto-punk kicking the doors. Tonight we're rolling through the top 15 rock songs of 1973 we'll never forget. Fact-checked, no repeats, just the tracks that still hit like a first needle drop. We start with a band nobody knew yet, Gyra 15, lighting the fuse, then slam into a downtown shout that practically invents attitude. The engines warm fast, road anthems built for night driving, bar fight sing-alongs, and a Bond theme that explodes like a mini rock opera. Stay for number 3, born from a casino fire, and a 4-note riff you learned before you learned your locker combo. At number 2, the cash register clicks in 7/4 and somehow becomes a radio hit. And number 1, the world's biggest rock band whispers instead of roars, and tops the charts anyway. If these songs were your first guitar lesson, your first road trip, or your first reason to turn the radio all the way up, you're in the right place. Drop your speaker volume, clear your head, and tell me in the comments, what's the 173 track you never skip? And what memory do you tie to it? Let's count it down from 15 to 1.
Place it any window, any day. Now they say your folks are telling you, be a superstar.
A debut single that sounds like a band trying to outrun gravity. You hear it in the first bars. Brian May's homemade Red Special biting through the mix. Roger Taylor's backbeat snapping like a live wire. And Freddie already shaping syllables like drama. The lyric is half warning, half wink. Keep yourself alive, as both advice and dare. While the arrangement shows Queen's early blueprint, stacked vocals, sudden stops, guitar lines that answer the voice like a second character. It didn't storm the charts in 1973, but the DNA is all here.
Silver tray, give me everything I need to feed my body and my soul. When I go,
The precision, the theater, the idea that rock can be muscular and ornate at the same time. This is the fuse before the fireworks. When you first heard early Queen, what grabbed you faster? The stacked harmonies or the guitar tone that feels like it's smiling and snarling at once?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
The Dolls walked into 1973 like they owned the sidewalk. Produced raw on purpose, Personality Crisis is a swaggering, slamming snapshot of New York attitude. Jerry Nolan's drums tumbling forward, Johnny Thunder's guitar scraping the paint, David Johansen tossing lines with a cab driver's timing. There's glam glitter in the clothes, sure, but the heart is proto-punk, short, sharp, and uninterested in permission. Radio didn't bite, bands did. You can hear the seed of 1,000 garage groups, how to be loud and loose without losing the hook. It's a song that turns chaos into a chant you can shout with strangers. If you had to explain the Dolls to a friend in one moment from this track, would you pick the opening crash or Johansen smirking, "No really, watch me," delivery?
Everybody's got the dues in life to pay. Half my life's in books. written pages.
A power ballad before that term had a PR team. Steven Tyler builds it from a piano figure that climbs in circles, a melody that starts small, and a voice that saves the skyscraping for when it matters. Joe Perry's guitar doesn't smother the song. It shades it, then spikes the peak. What makes Dream On last is the patience, a steady rise, a lyric that speaks like a diary without getting cute, and a payoff scream that feels earned, not pasted on. The first time out in 1973, it was a modest hit. The second time a few years later, it became a calling card. Either way, the message never changed. Play the long game, trust the build. Are you here for the slow, moody verses, or the moment the chorus cracks open and Tyler goes full Skyline? A train song that moves like a fight you're not finished having. Set inside Quadrophenia, 5:15 tracks a young Mott on his way to the seaside. But the band turns a train timetable into a heartbeat. John Entwistle's bass swings like a boxer. Keith Moon throws fills that feel like thrown chairs. Pete Townshend stitches piano and guitar into one engine. And Roger Daltrey belts like he's narrating the movie in your head. The horns punch lines as if the platform itself is cheering. It's classic Who. Personal confusion expressed with arena power, tenderness hiding behind bravado. Even out of the album's story, the single stands as a miniature, motion, memory, and noise glued into a perfect 3-minute rush. Which detail sells it for you? The hooligan drums, the sly piano, or the brass stabs that make the chorus feel like street theater? A road letter turned into a Glam postcard. Ian Hunter writes about losing a guitar in transit and somehow lands on a chorus you can shout from a cheap seat. The groove lopes with a grin. The piano struts. The guitars cut bright instead of heavy. And then the saxophone, swaggering, conversational, turns the whole thing into a street parade. What keeps it fresh is the storytelling. Self-mocking, specific, and generous. Mott had already been saved by a certain Bowie anthem. This is them saving themselves, proving they could write their own myth with wit, not just pose. You feel the miles, the mishaps, and the relief when the hook arrives like the right train at last. When this comes on, do you sing the chorus at full volume? Or wait for the sax break and air solo your way through it? A countdown, a question, and then the room explodes. Are you ready, Steve? This record is glam rock as a live wire, drums like a stampede, guitars that slash and shimmer, vocals stacked like a gang at the back of the hall. Producers Mike Chapman and Nicky Chin kept it tight and bright, but the performance feels unruly on purpose. Sweet understood theater, sudden breaks, hand claps like camera flashes, harmonies that hit you in the face and then wink. Under all the glitter is a pure rock engine, simple chords, forward motion, and a chorus you can't forget even if you try. It's a party song built like a machine, finely tuned to make chaos sound clean. Engagement question. What's the instant you turn the volume up? The drum pickup, the first yeah shout, or the chorus that blows the doors off? This is The Road at Night in 4 minutes. The bass is steady, the drums push like a shoulder on your back, and the guitar keeps finding new ways to say, go. The lyric is a driver talking to himself, tired, focused, carried along by an invisible line to someone waiting far away. There's no wasted space. The band stretches just enough to let the groove breathe, those tom rolls, that guitar figure that keeps changing color, and then snaps back to the main riff like headlights snapping onto the next curve.
Brand leaves coming on strong. The road has got me.
You can play this at 30 mph or 90. It feels right either way. That's the trick. Write a pulse that feels like motion even when you're sitting still. When you hear Radar Love, do you see highway nights you've lived? Or does it make you want to create one? A band that made its name on long jams turns in a 3-minute steel punch. The song opens with cowbell like a starting gun, then lands on a riff as clean as chrome. Don Brewer sings lead like a tour diary turned victory lap. Tiny snapshots of rooms, towns, and trouble, while Todd Rundgren's production makes every hit feel bigger than the last. There's no fat, verse, chorus, solo, out. Grand Funk took their arena muscle and tightened it until it flashed. The genius is in how personal it feels. There's pride in that chorus, but also a grin. They're not just telling you who they are, they're inviting you into the bus. What makes this one stick for you? The bulletproof riff, the road story lyrics, or the way the drums feel like they're kicking the band forward? This video is sponsored by The Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside The Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs, hands-free at home. Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live.
You know I saw Miss Lucy down along the track. She lost her home and her family.
A rhythm guitar becomes a locomotive. Tom Johnston's right hand turns muted strings into a moving track, and the band lays the rest on top. Harmonica that cuts the air, congas and kit drums weaving, voices riding the groove without crowding it. The lyric says a few true things and then gets out of the way. The music does the talking. Producer Ted Templeman keeps everything dry and close. You feel the wood of the guitar, the skin of the drums, the breath in the harmonica. So when the chorus finally opens, it feels earned.
Where would you be now? Na, na, na. Well, the Illinois is central and the southern central freight.
It's not a riff you admire, it's a feel you live inside. Be honest, do you sing the chorus or do you play air guitar to that choppy, perfect rhythm part? Ballroom electricity in a rock and roll bottle. Elton throws his piano like punches, Davy Johnstone's guitar snarls, and the rhythm section barrels forward like a crowd pushing toward the stage. Bernie Taupin's lyric is a snapshot of small-town Saturday. Cheap thrills, short fuses, neon promises, and Elton matches it with a performance that never lets its foot off the gas. The mix is hot and a little dangerous. Even the hand claps feel like they're daring you to clap back. It's the opposite of Elton's grand ballads, all elbows and sparks, a singer who can usually charm choosing to shove. That choice is why it lives. Sometimes the right move is to throw yourself into the noise and grin. Which part makes you hit repeat? The piano fighting the guitars, the shout-along chorus, or the way the track never stops leaning forward? A Bond theme that behaves like a mini rock opera. The song opens like a movie curtain, piano and voice, calm and grand, then explodes with brass and guitars as if the action just hit the screen. George Martin's orchestral sense meets McCartney's pop instincts, so you get sharp scene changes, dramatic stabs, a sudden reggae-leaning middle, then a full-throttle reprise. Nothing lingers longer than it should. Every section earns its place. That's why it still works on radio, on stage, and in your bones. The arrangement never lets your attention wander.
The changing world in which we live in makes you feel.
Listen to how tightly the band and orchestra trade roles. Wings carries the pulse, the strings and horns bring the danger, and Paul threads the melody through all of it with the calm of someone who knows he's holding a classic. What's the moment that grabs you most? The first orchestral hit, the surprise middle break, or the final blast when everything slams back in? A road song with Sunday morning sunlight on it. Dickie Betts writes and sings about a life spent moving, but the music feels warm, not weary. Twin guitars weaving like two lanes of the same highway, a rhythm section that rolls instead of races, and a melody that smiles even as it says goodbye. It's the band at a crossroads, grief in their past, a huge audience in their present, and they answer with grace. You can hear the country in the chords, the blues in the bends, and the South in the swing. It became their biggest pop hit because it invites anyone in, even if you've never changed strings at a truck stop or watched dawn through a windshield. The secret is how human it feels. Nothing showy, everything true. When this comes on, do you sing the chorus or hum along to those guitar lines like you're taking the harmony road yourself? Four notes that built 1,000 garages. The riff is as plain as brick and just as strong. Play it once and you've taught a kid how confident sounds. The verse tells a true story. A casino fire by a lakeside, chaos in the night, and the band drives it like a news bulletin with swagger. Ian Pace keeps the drums dry and forward. Roger Glover nails the march of the bass. John Lord's organ roars like a second guitar, and Ritchie Blackmore slices through with that granite tone. What makes it last isn't only the riff, it's the feel. The band leaves just enough air around each hit so the groove breathes. You can picture the smoke, feel the cold air off the water, and still bang your head in time. Be honest, did you learn this riff before you learned your first chord? And do you still grin when the chorus lands? A hit built on an odd rhythm and a sharper idea. The song clicks to life with a loop of coins and cash registers, then settles into a lopsided 7/4 bass pattern that somehow feels natural after 2 bars. The lyric isn't a lecture, it's a smirk, status symbols, envy, the little lies we tell ourselves about success. Then the band flips the table. When the guitar solo arrives, the groove shifts into straight 4/4, the drums drive harder, and David Gilmour cuts a blues line through modern anxiety. Saxophone steps in and turns the critique into a party you're not sure you should be at. It was the group's first big American single because it's clever without being cold, musical without losing bite. Even if you don't count time signatures, your body gets the message. What sticks with you longer, the cash register loop and bass line, or that moment the band snaps into 4/4 and the solo lifts the roof?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
A whisper that beat a world of shouts. After years of swagger, the Stones slow down and let space do the work. Acoustic guitars, a piano that sighs, a voice that sounds like a private conversation you happen to overhear. The lyric's origin has been argued over for decades, but the feeling needs no footnotes, regret, tenderness, and the courage to say what hurts. The melody rises just enough to break your heart on the chorus, then settles back like someone staring out a window after the fight is over. It hit #1 because everyone recognized the moment, the day the loudest band in the world chose honesty over volume. In 1973, when so much rock was getting faster, bigger, flashier, this ballad reminded us that silence around a song can make it ring louder. What detail on Angie floors you every time, the piano's little turns, the ache in the vocal, or the way the guitars leave room for the truth to land? The journey doesn't end here, Rock Warrior. Watch this next.